Hello, hello. Should be setting up the meeting. Excellent. All right. All right. Hello, everybody. It's Laura. I'm live streaming. I have at least one other person in my room. That's what I like to say. Um, and we're doing somatic mat. So this is going to be exercise, some lymphatic stuff, and whatever else comes through this morning. Starting with breath. Inhaling up, open it up, and exhale, release. And inhale, lift and open. There we go. And exhale, release. Inhale, stretch, open your heart, open your lungs. Reach through your fingertips. Just stay up there for a second. Wiggle your fingers. Feel that very distal edge of your body. Maybe move your feet around or shift your weight. Just feeling this like channel from the top to the bottom of your body. And then soften and release. Bend your knees. Let's take it down to the floor. Relax your neck. Inhale, arch, open, lift, and exhale. Soften, bend, and melt. Inhale, lift, arch, open, exhale, soften, and release. Two more. Inhale. Open your heart, open your lungs, reach it out. Exhale, soften and drop it down. Bent knees, easy and loose. Last one. Inhale, lift, arch, and open, and exhale. Take it all the way down. Open your feet a little wider. Shift from side to side. Let your back relax. Let your head relax. Relax your neck and jaw. Soften your face. And then come in. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to start with the dimensional cross of axes. So, and then we're going to get into lymph after that. So we'll move first. Let's go with the right hand up and down, just finding the vertical dimension. So we're coming in with a little lob on to start off. Up and down, up and down. Vertical dimension, moving on one side of your body. Same thing on the other side. Reaching up, bend your knees, and come down. Place high, place low. Getting some movement up, woo, and down, up, and down. Then we're going to go side across and side open. So side across and open up, side across, side open, side across, side open. Trying to keep your hip bones pointing front and open. Same thing on the other side. Cross and open, cross. So this, we're starting to like get into this scale of movement. We're learning some of the pathways in the scale of movement, like you'd play a scale on a piano. We're going to go backwards and forwards into the sagittal, backwards and forwards, backwards, forwards. Again, you're trying to keep your hip bones facing front and forwards, backwards, and forwards. Same thing on the other side. Taking it back and forwards, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about functional movement and like functional movement classes. Like really functional movement is being able to get down, being able to get up, being able to sit, being able to reach for things, just easy movement. So much of the stuff that we do on the mat are these little small things. They're little building blocks, but they're not whole connected systems of movement that are sort of realistic. Let's put this whole thing together. Up, down, crossing over, opening wide, taking it backwards and forwards. Vertical dimension up, down, horizontal, side, side, sagittal, backwards and forwards. One more time. Vertical, up, down, cross it over, open it out, take it backwards, try to keep the hips facing front and forward, switching it to the other side. If you want to make this more exciting, use your eyes. Look where you're going. Like keep the eyes and the head engaged. Place high, place low, side across, side open, taking it backwards and forwards. And again, vertical up, down, horizontal, cross, and open, sagittal, backwards, and forwards. One more time. Up, down, side across, side open, take it backwards and forwards. There we go. So that was the dimensional cross of axis, up, down, side, side, forward, backward. If we put a shape around the outside of that, it would be an octahedron. So that's like the inner scaffolding of the octahedron. Let's just circle our pelvis, mobilizing hip joints, ankles and feet, letting the diaphragm move around inside your body. Easy and loose, soft inner body. And change direction. Yeah, when we're really strong, like strong muscles are resilient. They're not hard. They're hard when they're engaged for a second, but when you're in neutral, they're really loose and easy. So thinking about what your tension pattern in your body is so that you're not holding a whole bunch of extra tension. We're just going to move our ribs a little bit. It can be free flow movement. So stabilize your lower body, rib cage, lungs, heart, floating around in whatever way makes sense to you. But try to keep this fairly stable so you can mobilize on top. If that's hard to do, you can always sit on a chair and then mobilize, because that will naturally stabilize your lower body. Shake it all out. And we're going to rub our hands together, coming in for the lymph. So I just looked at this video of Perry Nicholson talking about inside your head and the jugular foramen. So it's like there's the main hole that comes down inside our cranium going down into our nervous system, but then there's two other little holes, and they're coming in right down here. And this back here is where the biggest lymph nodes in our neck are. So we're not going to start there. We're going to start right hand crossing to the left up here in this upper quadrant. Relax your neck, tongue, relax your jaw, relax your face. I have lots of bruises up there from doing shoulder mounts on the pole. But when I move it, when I move that tissue that's a little bit bruised, it heals faster. So I'm not doing it super hard. I'm doing it light. I'm moving around. So all of whatever is kind of stuck in there, like bruises, it's a lot of that blood that's gone in there to heal the area, and letting that stuff reintegrate. Shake it out, other side, same thing. Breathing into it. So I'm right there. There's my collarbone. There's my sternocleidomastoid. I'm going with these fingers, really kind of like a pancake on there, grabbing on my skin and kind of moving the whole area around. Relax your neck, tongue, and jaw. So lymph is a detoxifier of your body. So is your skin. So is your breathing, like sweating, peeing, pooping, getting out the stuff you need to get out. And then up here behind the angle of your jaw. So this is the place he's talking about where that jugular foramen, I like to say foramen, I don't know, foramen is coming out. And I'm just getting both sides. Getting in there. And sometimes, like, if I listen into my body, it wants a different rhythm. Like I came in kind of quick, and then I was like, oh, once I listened and felt into it, it's like, wait a minute, just slow this down. This needs some time. And when I come into that slower version, I can just feel my whole nervous system drop down into a more parasympathetic state. Also, because back here is where our vagus nerve is coming out, a little further back. So it's like when we start to slow down and feel into these places, there may be information for us. There may be like, oh yeah, really slow down here. Take your time. Relax your tongue. This feels really good. And I've been having, not the past couple days, but before that, for almost like a full week, I was like fighting off migraines, fighting off headaches, which I think had something to do with the weather change, all the things going on. We had a full moon, we had, oh my God, so many things, the equinox. Shake that out. Coming into armpit pec. So right in there, I've got my right hand going to my left armpit pec, getting in there, moving it around. So there's big lymph node area here. Yeah, and if we were taught this in school to do this on a regular basis, this lymph clearing, we would probably have a lot fewer problems with our body. Shake it out, other side, same thing. Because not only am I affecting lymph, I'm also affecting fascia, nerves, vascular system. Like when we move one thing, we're going to be affecting a lot of other things. Take it in. We're just going to go from that middle of your, just where the bottom of your rib cage is, down to the middle area above your belly button, and get in there. Cisterna-chyli, biggest lymph node in the body, deep in your body. So it's not here on the surface, it's kind of in. So we want to get in, and I like to move a little bit with that. Getting that going. And since we've already moved our bodies a fair amount, there should be some fluidity in there already. We're hydrating tissue, we're getting stuff online and moving. Shake it out. Some big deep diaphragmatic breathing. And then into our inguinal fold, just above that fold, getting in there between your pubic bone and your hip bones. And then shake that out and take it down behind the eye of your knee, right behind the eye of the knee. Breathing into it. Yeah, so since I'm live streaming, and I've decided I'm just going to keep regularly live streaming these classes that I'm teaching on Mondays, Saturdays and Mondays. Saturdays at 9:30 Eastern, Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern. So they will be live streamed on YouTube. And if you feel like coming and like being there, and I will try and look at the chat at some point, you can talk to me. Shake it out. Huff and puff. This is the who breath. It's like a monkey. Get weird. You know, you see this in animals. My cat does it, my big cat. When he's like getting annoyed with the little cats, he does these big, now I'm blowing my snot all over the place, but he really sniffs around. Like cats and animals, I think monkeys do it to really take up territory with their breath. And I think about how often, like particularly at the gym, women can be very small in their breath. So can men. I mean, this is not necessarily gendered, but certainly my experience of working at the gyms was men didn't have any problem breathing loud. And women, if I asked them really get into the breath, a couple of them would do it, most of them not. So don't rob yourself of the breath. Take up space with that breath. You don't need to necessarily do it like at dinner, but you might. But you could do it in the bathroom or something, especially if you have to like do anything you're nervous about. Get into your breath, take up some space, and shake out whatever nervous energy is there. All right, let's take it down to the floor. Now our lymphatic system should really be up and running. I've got my weird double-edged carpets here in the middle. Let's start with just side. So again, we're mobilizing the diaphragm. There are cat toys under here. This is basically the cat's playroom, AKA the movement room. And so, yeah, there are little mice, all sorts of things, scratching posts around. Let's circle the whole way, sideways and forward, around to the side. Inhale, open. Side stretch, forward, side. Opening it up. Sideways and forward, side. Inhale, sideways, forward, sideways. Inhale and take it down. Shift from side to side, let it go. Invite the lower back and the inner body to deeply, deeply relax. I could say invite your lower back and your inner body to deeply, deeply relax. And then come up and we're going to change legs. So non-dominant leg goes in front. We've done a lot of stuff to mobilize our diaphragms with all that breathing, also the circling. Let's do it again. So just circling again. Now you're seated. It should be very easy to stay stable in your lower body. Think think of moving as easily as you can with this. So you're not kind of contracting to get around, but you're flowing like water. Be like water, change direction. We are filled with water. Even our bones are incredibly fluid. And we're shaped by water. We're really formed in a liquid environment. So tuning into that, the intelligence of the fluidity in our body. And then let's just add the side again. What we did on the other side with the other leg front, we're doing it again. Yeah, not only do I have bruises from pull, I also pulled something. I think I pulled maybe a couple of intercostals in my left side. It's always the left side. And so I can still do everything, but I can feel it a lot. Let's take the hands towards each other and then inhale, spiral open. I'm going to let my hands go back so I open the front of my ribs. Usually I have people keep their arms in front, but for now, let's go with a little bit more lung action. Inhale. Imagine that your fingertips are connecting all the way in to your lungs. Opening the front of the lungs, opening the back of the lungs. Use your breath. Take it back. And then we're going to spiral. As we spiral, opening up in one direction, halfway down. You can keep the arms spiraling or not. If it's too much to think about, don't do it. If you can think about it, do it. Serving the sandwiches, getting that nice twist through our torso. Exhale down, inhale, open. One more time each side. And take it all the way down. Once you get down there, before we do anything else, we're just going to spiral the lower body, letting this massage through the back of your hips and through your back. So I'm just going to say this because I think it's really funny. And that is, like, you can look around this room and see how busy it is. When we moved in, this was the wallpaper. Like, we didn't wallpaper this house. It was full of wallpaper, meticulously done wallpaper. Like, the pipes are matching. Like, there's two pipes over there, which you probably can't really see, but they are perfectly wallpapered. And then we've got like a bunch of art in here. It's both mine and Anthony's. And we've got all these plants and these different carpets, and like it's busy. And I know, like, whenever people are teaching stuff, they're like, make the room as clean as you can so it's not distracting. Well, I'm kind of the opposite of that. It's not that I want to make it busy and distracting, but hey, maximalism. Let's take your arms over your head, legs together, coming up. Regular hundreds, pulsing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale down. This is the not regular part. Exhale up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. So it's interesting just thinking about like the maximalism of this room. There's still not a lot of stuff in it. Like there's lots of room to move. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in it, but there's not a lot of furniture in it. Inhale. This was in the house before we lived here, the dining room. And there still is this lighting fixture right above my head that always gets in the way if you're standing and lifting your arms or doing any kind of dance stuff in here. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath. Last one. Exhale up. 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. Drop it down. Turn your head from side to side. Free up your spine. Wag your tail. Think of that spine like a river. Fluid, easy, lots of movement. And imagine that, like, sometimes we think of our spines, when we have the column idea, it's like a piece of architecture that doesn't move and it's not alive. So using the river analogy, imagining that your discs and your vertebra, they have movement, right? So like Some people are like, oh yeah, I've got a bulging disc over here. It's like, okay, well, maybe we try and move your body a little bit so that disc can readjust and bulge the other way, right? Like movement can be very healing. So just giving yourself a few breaths of free flow, we would call it in continuum, they would call it wave-like movement. Like there are waves rippling through your body. And if you use the analogy of water and waves, it's really free form. It's not like the wave goes like this. It's like the wave can do all sorts of things. The water inside the wave is spiraling. There's lots of capacity in there. So we're just trying to use that analogy to find some freedom and some mobility through the whole spine. It doesn't have to be huge. Very small could be really wonderful. So micro moving the spine, freeing up the flow. And as you're doing that, allowing your diaphragm to also have some free flow movement. So it's not just doing the thing that it does. Even when the diaphragm does do the thing that it does, the breathing thing, there's ways it can do it that can be like more growing and shrinking with the breath, more organic and healthy. Or it can be kind of like, I'm going to control everything. And this is how I'm going to breathe. And then there's a lot of inhibition. So just feel into your own body in your day. Am I inhibiting? Am I allowing? What's going on? All right. That was a big long lecture. Let's just roll from side to side to recover from that. Opening and closing. And this is also for my rib cage, which is just needs that movement. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Feel free to open and close. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep them doggies rolling. Rawhide. Yeah, and I just want to say, when I worked for Equinox, like I think I break every rule that everyone ever tells you not to do. And that's how you find new things. Like one of the things was never sing along with your music. It's all inhibition, right? Well, what if I want to? I like singing along, and I like to make up my own song. All right, let's take the arms out, knees in, side, side. So think about like when you're doing working out or when you're, doing things in your life, are you inhibiting yourself or are people inhibiting your choices or are you expanding? And sometimes we do need to like rein it in a little bit. But for most people, I think that a little bit of expansion would go a long way. Expansion in thinking, expansion in possibility. And let's come in, pick up your butt. Let's lift up high, walk your shoulders close together. And you're going to inhale, knees open, and exhale, knees closed. Inhale, knees open. So we're giving that fascia in our IT band, our quads and our hamstrings, and even our lower back, this chance to move, right? Little bit of movement in external rotation, internal rotation, which is going to take the tissue and go like that, and then it's going like that. Tissue is doing that, and then it's doing that. So like I've talked about this before, but under our IT band is another layer. So IT band is a very big bandy piece of fascia, same with our lower back and that piece, integrated fascia. But underneath it, it's got some very like snot-like different type of fascia, much more movable and liquid. Bring it in. Yeah, so the big bandy fascias, like our IT band or our Achilles tendon, our lower back, the big bandy parts are all the ligaments. They're very strong. They're very, they need to be strong. Like we don't want a flexible, free-flowing IT band, but we do want that IT band, which is in these lines up and down like that, to have that layer underneath be able to move, right? If you take your quad and try and move it, is it easy to move? Like, can you get in there and move that stuff? Just try it on both legs and feel like sometimes you get somewhere and you're like, wow, that's just gummed up right there. And it's not that everything should be totally free flow inside, like the fascia is holding us together, but there should be some sense of freedom. All right, hands down by your sides. Let's go with big circles. Up, flex, open, take it down. Pointing your toes up, open it out, reach it down. So one thing, like when I'm injured or I'm sore, I have much more awareness in that part of my body. So, like, I can feel how in this exercise, the tissue in my back is involved to help stabilize my leg, like my body, right? And I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not like, "Arr." I'm just letting it happen, keeping the bones organized. Last one. And then shake it out, let it go. Let that shake soften into your body. Head to tail, free it up. Hands on your knees, big circles, lubricating up your hip sockets. And change direction. And then open up into a happy baby. Wiggle around in the baby. And then release. And let's go for a heel rock. So this is a Laban Bartenieff. Actually, it's a Bartenieff, Irmgard Bartenieff. Heel rock. Letting your pelvis free up. Again, now we're sending a wave up and down through our body. And it should be easy to notice, oh, my rib cage is barely moving, or my head is just staying. Let it go. Fake it a little bit if you need to. So fake it so that there is some movement. This is the easiest way to learn this is if somebody takes you and just you relax and they shake you up and down by your feet. But in these days of, these are the mice that my cat loves. In these days of isolation, which we seem to be coming out of a little bit, yeah, not many people are getting any touch unless they're very lucky. All right, let's go again. Let's lift up. Bring your feet a little bit closer together. We're just going to lift one knee and then down and then the other. It's like you're marching. You can keep your feet relaxed. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up. We're going to add to it. You're going to go up, straighten, flex, point, fold. Up, straighten, flex, point, fold. Up, straighten, flex, point. I can feel this really through all the way through the tissue in the back of the leg. So for me, what I'm getting, especially here, is that stretch through my Achilles, foot through the Achilles. Yeah, so we want to have hydration in those joints around our ankles and feet, but also in the fascia, those bands, so that the muscles of our calf and shin can move and have some differentiation. Roll it down and soften. We're going to grab onto one leg. I'm just going to move my sock a little bit since it is cold. You're going to make a cuff with your hand. My knee is totally bent. Make a cuff, pull on your skin, and circle your foot. That pulling that you probably feel in there, that's your fascia. Change direction. And that's all the stuff that holds you together. Tendon, ligament, filmy fascia, big bands, and then shake it out, let it go. And we want inside our body to have all these capacities to differentiate. So like muscles are not gummed up and stuck together, but there's a little bit of sliding. They're anchored where they need to be, but we need some movement in there. So you're going to take your hand around the back, one on, I'll just show you this way, one on each side, and just pull in and apart. You can go back and forth a few times. So calves tend to be something that are really tight on a lot of people, but we don't spend a lot of time thinking about our feet, or when I say we, I mean people in general in our culture. Now I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to pinch my Achilles, and I'm going to circle again, or half circle. Yeah, I know several people that have snapped their Achilles. Not fun at all. So this is like the this is doing the tissue care. Shake it out, let it go. Shake out your arms as well and switch it to the other side. Just feel the difference between the two now. Like this side for me feels much more fluid and alive, and this one feels a little more gummy. So other side, grab on, make a cuff, pull. So I'm really actively pulling, and then I'm circling my foot. changing direction, recuff whenever you want. Oh, I also have a huge bruise in here. And when I do this kind of stuff, it just reintegrates that detritus that's in there, like whatever went to serve the area, all the blood that went in there, and then it kind of like stagnates. So I'm moving it around. All right, and then shake it all out, let it go. Get behind your ankle. It's like you're pulling each side away from each other, all the way up. Gastroc, soleus, all those great things in the back of your calf and the front of your shin too. Like I'm also getting my tibialis anterior in the front with this thumb. So up and down a few times, getting that tissue to move side side. And then the last one, I'm going to grab on my Achilles and pinch, and I'm going to move my ankle around. And then I'm going to move it up a little bit. Yeah, and I can feel, I probably have some scar tissue in there. Yeah, dancing on point for many years and doing a lot of ballet. Okay, shake it out, let it go. Shake, 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 and let's roll over. We spent a lot of time there, but we're going to stick with the calf and Achilles and reach back through your heel, and you're going to arch and then come over the top of your foot, point, push with your hands, and curl. So I'm going to push back through my heel, I'm going to arch and open, and then I'm going to come over the top of my foot, come slightly forward, and push and curl. Arching, pushing back, hollowing, curl, push, heel pushes back, and then here my hands are pushing down. Switch it to the other side. Heel pushing back, arch, stick out your butt, stick out your chest, and then come over the top, point, hollow, and curl. Heel reaches back, arch, and open. Over the top, point, hollow, and curl. Heel reaching back, arch, and open. And over the top, point, hollow, and curl. And last one, reach it back, arch, and point, and curl. And let's take our toes under, take it to a dog, just walk through your dog, bend one knee, bend the other. Oh, mobilizing inner body, mobilizing outer body, mobilizing all that stuff. And then let's take it forward to hands and knees, and then just onto knees. Interlace your hands. My fingers are going to hold together. So I'm squeezing my fingers together, but I'm pulling my hands out, dropping my shoulders down, widening in the collarbones. I'm just going to turn my head from side to side. So if I let my fingers go, my hands are really going to pop open. I'm widening, looking from side to side. I can take my eyes into that. I can allow the space around me to come into my eyes, or I can actively try and look. Just feel the difference between that, like just letting your eyes be there and everything around you is coming into them, or you're really trying to see, and just feel the difference of that energy in your body. And then take your arms over your head, palms up, circles. Again, my fingers are holding together, my elbows are pulling out. And change direction other way. And then come in, shake it out. We're going to do a side plank. So let's do side plank. If you want to make it easier, leave your bottom knee down. If you want to make it harder, you can also stack on top. I really like the 1 foot in front version, just pulsing up, going 1. Draw this bottom shoulder down and in. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Take it down, switch it to the other side. Same thing on the other side. Either knee down here or there or here. Pulsing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Taking it down. Let's come into a forearm plank. And just going to move my mat slightly. We're going to take one knee to the floor at a time, touching down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pushing forward and backward. Again, you can probably feel into that Achilles, calf, and ankle. And then crossing under. Twisting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take it all the way down. Bend your knees and let your legs fall from side to side. Big breathing down deep into your belly, into your lungs, into your belly, softening and melting. And then taking your legs out behind you, arms in front. Inhale, opposite arm to leg. Exhale down. Inhale, exhale, using your breath. And relax. Head on your hands, curl your toes under. Push up and down, soften, easy body. Again, finding the fluidity in your body. If you have some tight area or some like painful spot, can you breathe into that area, bringing some awareness, some compassion for yourself, some loving kindness for your animal body into your experience. Breathing, melting, letting go. And then we're actually going to do tricep push-ups. So I'm going to do it with my knees on the floor, hands are next to my chest, coming up. You can do it with knees on or off the floor and down. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And taking it down. I haven't done this in a long time, but let's do it. You're going to it's a yoga position. You're going to stick your butt up in the air. It's really what cats and dogs do when they get up, right? They stick out their butt, they reach out through their arms. Ha. They don't collapse into the floor like this, but you can if you want to or not. But really reach through your sit bones, front of the body opening up. If you push down into your arms, you're going to feel a connection through your rotator cuff. You can also let that go and just sit into it. And then taking it forward. And we're going to bend one knee, cross it over, and reach across our body. Come back in, bend the other knee, cross your foot, reach across. So we're spiraling the inner body and the outer body. Bend, spiral, bring it in, bend, spiral, bring it in. Now we're going to try it without the bent leg. Lift, spiral, and bring it back. Lift, spiral, bring it back. Lift, twist, bring it in. Lift, twist, bring it in. Hands next to your chest, arch up. Open the front of your body. Take it into a child's pose. Relax. Melt. Wiggle around. Soften your spine. Relax your forehead. If you can really drop your head into your mat so you can completely let go of control in your neck and shoulders and just breathe, do that. If you need support under your head, you can always take a block and stick it there. So work with what helps you feel supported, breathing into it, letting your head and neck soften, and then shift your weight back towards your heels and come up. And we're going to come forward onto elbows and knees. Right leg out behind you or left leg, either one, kicking the ceiling up and down. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch it to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to change it. You're going to lift your leg out, take it to the side. You can come up onto that hand, bring it back, elbow down, and lower. Leg goes out, take it to the side, come up onto that hand, bring it behind you, lower down. Up, to the side, take it back, lower down. Up, to the side, take it back, lower down. Up, to the side, take it back, and lower. Up, to the side, take it back, and lower. One more time each side. Up, out, back, down. Last one. Up, out, back, down. Let's do circles with our hips, then we'll do a couple hip stretches. So walk your knees back, circling your pelvis towards the floor, and then side in the back. Breathing into it. Lots of movement in the lungs, inner body. Change direction. And then take it back, melt down, shift your butt to one side. You can walk the arms to the other side. Breathe into it. Relax into it. Let your head totally drop down. And then walk your hands over, shift your butt to the other side of your heels. Side stretch there. Breathe. Big breathing into the back of the lungs. Well, you're breathing into the full lungs, but thinking about your back. 60% of the lung space is in the back of our body. Bring it back in and come up, which makes a lot of sense when you think that like our diaphragm is shaped like this, right? So our lungs are in all of the space in the back. I'm not sure exactly like how central in our body our heart is. I'm sure I've actually done a cadaver dissection, had my hands on a heart. I just have to think about that lung and heart relationship, right? Our lung on the one side is nestled around our heart. Our heart is nestled in there. So when we slow down our breathing, we can affect our heart rate. So coherent breathing, just a quick PSA on coherent breathing. It means you're breathing to neither upregulate or downregulate, right? You're breathing to be in like a coherent state where your body is just maybe in an optimal state of coherence where things are working together. Coherent breathing means your inhale and your exhale are the same. So like you can inhale 5, like, hold on, I'll count it. Exhale everything out. You're going to inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I actually have a video about coherent breathing. Great practice to do just to come into like, I'm just here, everything is fine. It's a great meditative practice. Let's stretch our hips. I'm going to cross one leg over the other. You can leave the bottom one straight. If you're working on hamstring flexibility, you might want to leave the bottom one straight. For me, it's my hips that really need the stretch. So I'm going to fold under, taking it down, breathing into it. Feeling the rise and fall of my breath. Yeah, so for like down regulation, you need to calm down, you need to really settle. Then you would want to extend your exhale longer. So there's 4, 7, 8 breathing where you inhale for 4 counts, you hold for 7 counts, you exhale for 8 counts. That would be very down regulating. And that who breath that we did at the beginning, it's kind of got an emphasis on the inhale. That is going to be more upregulating. You'll feel it like, oh, I got energy. You're taking it up. Just to think about what those are for your nervous system. Up regulation brings you up, down regulation brings you down. Down regulation bringing you down doesn't necessarily mean depressed. It means calming. You're coming into a slower state. And in that slower state is where we actually metabolize. So rest and digest, soothe and settle. Digestion happens when we are in that calm state. So people who are amped up all the time sometimes are not digesting very well. Let's put it that way. We want to find balance in that up regulation and down regulation in our lives. Unscramble, shake it out, rotate in and out, and cross it over. And it's very much the relationship of our nervous system. But I think we've often been taught to think that control of that is outside of ourselves. It's so not true. If we take our time, come into presence with our body, we can really affect our systems and how we engage with the world or how we receive the world. Take it down, soften and melt. Inviting yourself to fill up on the inhale and to relax into that space on the exhale. And then coming up, unscrambling, give it a bang. Let the tissue soften again, rotate in and out. And we're going to come onto our feet, butt up in the air. Open your feet wide and just shift from side to side. Really actively pay attention to your weight shift as you go onto one leg and as you go onto the other. Letting your head-tail connection be very fluid, very easy. Trusting that the bones are strong and supportive. Fluid joints, nice bunch of synovial fluid in there, hydrating those joints. Slowly roll it up. Yeah, so the fluid in our joints, the synovial fluid, is a lubricant, and it's a move it or lose it thing. So like when there's the light I was talking about. When we don't move, that synovial fluid isn't produced. It's through movement that we get the production of synovial fluid. So we want to move a lot in different environments with different types of movement. So it's not always the same stuff. Inhale, open. Exhale, soften into space. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, let it go. Feeling the space around you, feeling your body in the space around you. Nice relationship with your space. Open it up. We started with that space. We did that dimensional cross of axis. So if you are in TV land watching this, if you are one of my supporters already, thank you. Yay, I really appreciate it. If you aren't, maybe consider donating on Patreon or making a one-time donation on PayPal. And all of those links will be eventually in the bottom. And I'm going to stop recording, stop